It is time for a book of the month unboxing. There are 5 or 6 books in here. So let me open it without cutting the any cover that's on top. There we go. All right, perfect. So I'm just going to go from top to bottom. Do I remember exactly which one I designated as my book of the month? No. So the one on top here is The Summer We Ran by Audrey Ingram. This says, let's see. In the summer of 1996, Tess Murphy's mom gave her 2 rules to abide by. Keep quiet and stay out of trouble. Her mother landed a new job as a cook at an affluent Virginia estate and didn't want anything to risk the opportunity, least of all her outspoken teenage daughter. What no one saw coming was Tess falling deeply in love with the boy next door, high society Grant Alexander. Over a few wondrous and heart-filled months, Tess and Grant's love blooms so ferociously it feels utterly impossible that anything can keep them apart, until tragedy strikes. Now, more than 2 decades after their epic teenage romance, Tess and Grant are both running for governor of Virginia, and secrets from that summer threaten to shatter their families, their political futures, and the memory of the first love that shaped their lives. That sounds cute. Okay. Next, I have King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. This one says, and I did make sure when I was looking that these are either standalones or the first in a series. Let's see. Roman Carruthers left the smoke and fire of his family's crematory business behind in his hometown of Jefferson Run, Virginia. Oh, so 2 in Virginia here. Okay. He is enjoying a life of shallow excess as a financial advisor in Atlanta until he gets a call from his sister, Neva, telling him their father is in a coma after a hit-and-run accident. When Roman goes home, he learns the accident may not be what it seems. His brother Dante is deeply in debt to dangerous, ruthless criminals, and Roman is willing to do anything to protect his family. Anything. A financial whiz with a head for numbers and a talent for making his clients rich, Roman must use all his skills to try to save his family while dealing with a shadow that has haunted them for 20 years, the disappearance of their mother when Roman and his siblings were teenagers. It's a mystery that Neva, who has sacrificed so much of her life to hold her family together, is determined to solve once and for all. As fate and chance and heartache ignite their lives, the Carruthers family must pull together to survive or see their lives turn to ash, because, as their father counseled them from birth, nothing lasts forever. Everything burns. Okay. Next in the box is What Kind of Paradise by Janelle Brown. This one says, the first thing you have to understand is that my father was my entire world. Growing up in an isolated cabin in Montana in the mid-1990s, Jane knows only the world that she and her father live in, the wood stove that heats their home, the vegetable garden where they try to eke out a subsistence, the books of 19th century philosophy that her father gives her to read in lieu of going to school. Her father is elusive about their pasts, telling Jane little beyond the facts that they once lived in the Bay Area and that her mother died in a car accident, the crash propelling him to move Jane off the grid to raise her in a Walden-esque utopia. As Jane becomes a teenager, she starts pushing against the boundaries of her restricted world. She begs to accompany her father on his occasional trips away from the cabin, but when Jane realizes that her devotion to her father has made her an accomplice to a horrific crime, she flees Montana to the only place she knows to look for answers about her mysterious past and her mother's death, San Francisco. It is a city in the midst of a seismic change, where her quest to understand herself will force her to reckon with both the possibilities and the perils of the fledgling internet, and where she will come to question everything she values. So, there we go. That sounds very interesting. Next up, I think this one will be in a lot of people's book of the months, and that is this one by V.E. Schwab. Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. So, this one says, this is a story about hunger. 1532, Santo Domingo de la Calzada. A young girl grows up wild and wily. Her beauty beauty is only outmatched by her dreams of escape. But Maria knows she can only ever be a prize, or a pawn, in the games played by men. When an alluring stranger offers an alternate path, Maria makes a desperate choice. She vows to have no regrets. This is a story about love. 1827 London. A young woman lives an idyllic but cloistered life on her family's estate until a moment of forbidden intimacy sees her shipped off to London. Charlotte's tender heart and seemingly impossible wishes, impossible wishes are swept away by an invitation from a beautiful widow. But the price of freedom is higher than she could have imagined. This is a story about rage. 2019, Boston. College was supposed to be her chance to be someone new. That's why Alice moved halfway across the world, leaving her old life behind. But after an out-of-character one-night stand leaves her questioning her past, her present, and her future, Alice throws herself into the hunt for answers and revenge. This is a story about life, how it ends, and how it starts. I just saw it was V.E. Schwab and was like, oh, say no more. I have not read anything by the author, but everything I have read I have absolutely enjoyed. And the last book, so there's 5 books in here, so the 5th and final book I will show you, because that's it, is The Ghostwriter by Julie Clark. It says, June 1975. The Taylor family shatters in a single night when 2 teenage siblings are found dead in their own home. The only surviving sibling, Vincent, never shakes the whispers and accusations that he was the one who killed them. Decades later, the legend only grows as his career as a horror writer skyrockets. Ghostwriter Olivia Dumont has spent her entire professional life hiding the fact that she is the only child of Vincent Taylor. Now on the brink of financial ruin, she's offered a job to ghostwrite her father's last book. What she doesn't know, though, is that this project is another one of his lies, because it's not another horror novel he wants to write. After 50 years of silence, Vincent Taylor is finally ready to talk about what really happened that night in 1975. And that is it. So those are the 5 books that I got for Book of the Month. Let me know if you have read any of these books or books from any of these authors. And if you have read them or read from any of these authors, what your thoughts are on them. Definitely let me know. Talk to me. If you do get Book of the Month, what book did you get? Now talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.